So if you go into a Five Below store, you'll see they have a lot of Bluetooth speakers at only about $7 each. So I just bought all of these to see if any of these are actually worth buying. There might be a couple other speakers that they have in store, but these are most of the ones that I saw. It's kind of interesting how they all look different. Some of them actually look similar to name brand speakers, but then you notice they're all made by the same Bass Jacks company. I think we'll do a quick unboxing of each one, see what the build quality is like, and then I'll do a quick sound test for each one of these. I think we'll start with the smallest and go up to the largest. This one's called the Clip wireless speaker. I would assume every one is going to come with a quick start guide and charging cable. The fabric's not horrible. This all being plastic though, yeah, I can't see that lasting. This actually looks like a rugged speaker. It's all plastic though. I mean, the buttons are pretty cheap on here as well. I can tell already this speaker is not very loud. I don't even know if it's 25% as loud as something from JBL. Surprisingly, the buttons work pretty good on here. Tap and hold on plus and it turns the volume up. Tap it once and it goes to the next song.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
If I had to give this a score out of 10, build quality maybe a 4, sound maybe a 2 or 3. You probably get your $7 worth though. Next size up is called Pillar. It's got a fabric texture and 5 watts. Kind of interesting, they put 3 different pieces of tape on the top. Seems a little excessive for a $7 speaker, but okay. Instruction manual, charging cable. Okay, this one's got some silicone here on the top. Makes it feel a little bit nicer. Fabric going around the sides. Kind of a felt material on the bottom. Here at the back, you get the charging port. Pretty loud boot up sound, that's for sure. They all have a similar model number with SPK when you're pairing. Kind of interesting, this one has an FM radio mode button. That's definitely a bonus. I just noticed this one also has lighting at the bottom. You can just barely notice though. It's not very bright.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
For quite a bit larger speaker, definitely louder than the Clip speaker, but there's still 0 bass. I would say build quality on this out of 10, maybe slightly better, 5 or 6. Sound quality, probably 4 or 5. Again, definitely better than the Clip by a little bit. Next size up is called Spectrum. Apparently it has a charging dock included. This one's also 5 watts, just like the other one. Instruction manual, charging cable. This definitely seems interesting. You can see the charging dock just has 2 little contact points that go up to the bottom of the speaker. It doesn't actually attach, it just kind of sits right on top of it. These are super lightweight plastic. Definitely feels pretty cheap. On the back here is your charging port, small plastic buttons. Looks like the only spot where the sound is going to come out is on the top. Another SPK part number. Also has an FM mode on this one as well.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
I kind of figured just from the weight of this speaker. Definitely sounds worse than the Pillar. It's definitely not as loud, just doesn't sound as good. I don't know if it's really worth the trade-off to have this little charging pad on the bottom for really low sound and low quality. Next one up is called the Reverb. I can already tell this is probably going to be the best one just by the looks. Looks like it's going to be good quality. Probably sounds identical to JBL. They even used better paper for the instruction manual on this one, so you know that's a good sign. First thing I noticed, you have this silicone here on the little shoestring style handle. Not bad actually. Just plastic on the end, not actually passive radiators. It does have little silicone nubs though if you want to stand this up. I think the fabric's probably a little nicer on this one compared to the others. You've got a silicone strip with the controls, and there's a cover for the charging port as well. A little bit different startup sound. Seems pretty loud, that's a good sign. This one's 227 SPK.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
This is probably the best one that I've tested so far. It's still lacking bass, but actually pretty loud overall. It looks like the sound comes from this part. This one actually sounds a little bit louder than the others. Probably my favorite so far as build quality goes. This might be the first one that's actually worth getting. I might even rank this one a 6 out of 10 on build quality, 5 or 6 for sound quality. I mean, don't get me wrong, this isn't gonna be any of the name brands out there, but might be worth considering for only $7. This one here, they're called Amped. You can see they definitely want this to look similar to a Marshall speaker. Still only 5 watts though. But now instead of superior sound, it says maximum bass. Also apparently has vegan leather. Instruction manual charging cable. Okay, this is definitely a little bigger than I was expecting. Okay, it does actually feel a little bit like leather. Really cheap fabric here on the front. Probably looks good from a distance or in darker lighting. Up close and bright lights, doesn't really look the best. Kind of crooked here too. Even though this is larger, super lightweight. Not usually a good sign for speakers. Really large rubber feet on the bottom though. Kind of surprised there's no guitar sound. Kind of interesting way they did the volume and power button. It looks really cheap in person, but from a distance it's not bad. Play, pause, forwards and backwards buttons, along with your charging port there as well. 254 SPK.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Looks like the volume isn't really in sync with your phone on this one. It seems to work pretty good overall though. This one's actually pretty loud, probably similar to the Reverb. I don't think it sounds as good though in this box. If they could get this fabric straight on the front, I actually think the build quality on this probably a little better than I was expecting. It's kind of a clever way on how they do the knobs on the top, and I like the vegan leather. Probably a 4 or 5 as far as build quality. Sound quality, it's not great. It doesn't have any bass whatsoever, so maybe a 4 or 5. I'd probably go with the Reverb over this one, but this one actually might look cooler depending on what room you're using this in. You can obviously see the shape of this one, somewhat similar to an Apple HomePod. You can see this one is also 5 watts, superior sound. Also has an LED light on the top. We'll see if you can actually see it. I think this is the first one they actually advertise that you get 10 hours of playtime. They must have packaged this one on a Friday. 3 different plastic pieces in the bottom with the instruction manual underneath. Not the best fabric material I've ever seen. Maybe a little bit crooked. Has a foam pad on the bottom. All your controls and charging port here on the side. All plastic, of course. Almost feels like paper on the top. Guess that's plastic on the top. Pretty much has zero weight to it. About as light as a feather. You can sort of see the lighting a little bit better on this one. This one also has an FM radio mode button. You can see this one's BT Radiant SPK instead of a model number.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
I feel like this one probably looks a little better even though it's all plastic buttons. They seem to work good. The sound comes from only the front section. Probably loud enough for most people. Actually sounds very similar to the Pillar speaker. Not the best. Probably loud enough for most small to medium sized rooms. 4 or 5 out of 10. Probably for build quality and sound. You're probably getting your money's worth with this one. Overall, not horrible. Not that good either. Now, one of the biggest speakers is called the Gallery. This one's actually pretty similar to an Amazon Echo Studio. Pretty similar instruction manual, charging cable. First thing I notice about this, there's hardly any weight to it. Super light. I mean, you can't get much lighter than this, which is kind of crazy considering the size of this. Your plastic buttons and charging port down at the bottom. Kind of hard to get to though once this is standing up. It kind of feels like felt material on the bottom. See-through port there as well. This one might be dead. Okay, after charging this for a while, it finally was able to turn on. I'll just keep it plugged in for now. You can see the light changing here on the top. Not bad, I guess. This one's 241 SPK.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
Actually doesn't seem much louder than some of the others that are about half the size. Build quality is definitely not that good on here. Not a huge surprise, but then again, for $7, you might be getting your money's worth. I think I've pretty much confirmed for the price of buying all of these speakers together, I'd probably just buy one of the name brand speakers that I've tested before. It's gonna be much better build quality and sound quality as well. This is definitely one of the biggest speakers they have. You can see they're calling this one Boost. Looks like it has TWS pairing as well. Kind of surprised there. You've got the LED lighting on the ends, retractable handle. Pretty similar instruction manual, charging cable. Pretty nice silicone handle. Looks like it already has stuff on it. That's going to be hard to keep clean. Pretty similar fabric material going around the whole speaker. Plastic buttons and charging port there on the back. They really like to use this felt material for the feet. I assume it's cheaper than silicone. Wow, this one actually has passive radiators that move. You can see the colors changing there on the end. Actually looks pretty decent on this one. Looks like it's 247 SPK model number. Also has the FM radio mode on here, although I can't actually get anything to come in. It's just static.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. you fade away.
It actually does sound a little bit louder than some of the others. Kind of funny though, the passive radiators on the end don't really move at all. You can sort of feel it if you touch them, but that's about it. This one surprisingly has better build quality than some of the others we've looked at. Maybe like a 6 out of 10. Not really better sound quality, maybe just a tad louder. It's still lacking in bass, maybe 4 or 5, especially considering the size. Sound quality really isn't that good on any of these. Build quality I feel like is okay on some of them, but again, for the price, you might be getting your money's worth.